We will get started. Okay. Welcome back to the second session of the AGM. In this session, we'll continue with the APNIC activity report, the EC report, and then we'll ask our policy SIG chairs and other SIG chairs to start presenting their reports from the week. A few standard reminders. This is a hybrid event. We have both on-site and remote Zoom participants. So please be conscious of that. If I'm not mistaken, the Zoom link is the same as from the first session or different one. Okay, so yeah, if you are still there, or I don't know how to tell people, I should have said that before the end of the last session. I said different Zoom link. To go on. And yeah, next I'll actually ask Paul to present the activity report for our activity plan for 2023. So as I said earlier in the day, previously we talked about what happened last year. And then Kenny in his treasury report presented the budget for next year. And now what are the activities under that budget that happens this year is what Paul is going to present. Paul?
I think I've got 15 minutes.
It says
it's a shorter session. You'll be glad to hear. The activity plan, has been prepared by the Secretariat, approved by the EC as the basis of the budget. There is plenty more detail in the activity plan document that gives the full breakdown of activities costings. The costings in terms of staffing and the operational and capital expenses. So this is quite a summary. It'll be shorter than the last presentation. Starting with the planning process, it's a cycle that begins with the community, and as I mentioned earlier, the APNIC survey is the main way, and a formal way, fully recorded and transparently archived on the website, where the APNIC community has got an opportunity to provide input directly to the APNIC EC for considering in the annual and the longer term strategy. So as you see here on the left, the community input comes primarily through the survey, but also through other formal and informal channels into the APNIC Secretariat, into the EC. The planning happens, the execution then is based on that planning, and the reporting comes back to the AGM, the member meeting, through Secretariat reports, also through some more mechanisms on the website, like the activity tracker, like the product roadmaps, through the blog, through the annual report. You heard the URL before, or the site on the website, which is the transparency section, which has got links to all of these reports, the plans, the reports, the surveys, the finances, and all of that. So at the moment, we're in the last year of this 2020 to 23 strategic plan, which was established back then. The current annual plan is 2023 for this year. This year will also be a year of planning for the next 4-year plan, and that's going to involve the EC, of course, in several meetings during the course of this year. Again, the pillars and work streams, 18 work streams, stay the same under the 5 pillars, and the plan is budgeted and described accordingly. So a summary of the budget, which Kenny will go into in plenty of detail, is here, and we're counting PY, person years, in the first column, which make up 124.5 across 5 strategic pillars. The distribution of the human resources to those pillars is in the second column. The operational expenditure is divided into what we call operational activities and investment activities. And the difference between those, which is also described in the planning document, is that operational activities are those which are ongoing and which we regard as the regular required activities to keep the operations of APNIC and the services running. Investment activities, you might describe them as optional, although some of them do involve multi-year investments. But the idea of investment activities is that we're making improvements, we're adding new services, we're undertaking new activities, new work that of course we believe is in the interests of, that has been requested by members, that has been endorsed by the EC. But the point of making this division is just to show that a significant amount of the expenditure at APNIC is not just to keep the wheels turning, it's to keep improving in response to what seems to be needed. The total OPEX, operational expenditure, is there. The CapEx is a smaller and smaller proportion of our budget, actually, as we have been moving progressively from our own hosted hardware to cloud services for many applications. All right, and we also show this the OPEX in this case by the work streams and the totals relative totals per pillar that you can see. And each pillar divided into those work streams, making up 18 in total. As I mentioned in the report earlier, the capability work stream is a very large one. It's got a lot of technical infrastructure inside it, and it's also got the more traditional operational and administrative, you might call, overheads, but this is about developing and maintaining our human resources, the finance and business services, and also the governance of the organisation. The second largest pillar there, as you see, is development, followed by membership, registry, and information. So each of these pillars has got a description of its scope and its aims, its objectives within the strategic plan, and membership is about delivering products and services that are required by the members. And I think you can accept members across most of this report, unless we're talking about formal membership agreement, membership fees, etc. You can regard members as being fairly inclusive of the APNIC community, and many of the membership services do have benefits to the community as well. So we're engaging with members to make sure that we're working together on the APNIC mission, which is towards a global open, stable, and secure internet. And we're ensuring accountable provision of those services, governance of those services to APNIC members and through APNIC as a membership organisation. Now, I'm really only providing a summary of the major activities under the work streams of each pillar. And as I said, more detail available in the detailed activity plan. You'll find in the plan all of the work streams individually spelt out with the activities within them. We distinguish between the operational activities and the investment activities under each of the work streams. You'll find budgetary and human resource summaries for each of the work streams, all of which should total up into the totals for each of the pillars and the totals for the entire plan. And I hope you'll find that all of that adds up in the right way. But I'd like to just run through sort of highlights of what we're planning for the next year across the work streams of the membership pillar. So we're looking, of course, to maintain that SLA, service level agreement, of 2 business days to all members on member queries. Looking to at least reach or improve on a satisfaction level of 93% excellent and above average. We're looking for actively engaging with members across at least 40 economies of our region. That's the vast majority of economies of our region, to continue that kind of engagement and direct support that we spoke about before. The member services team, as you may know, is divided into sub-regional teams. So we have teams of specialists for each of the sub-regions of the APNIC service region. And that helps very much to make that active member engagement very meaningful to serve the needs of different parts of our region. We are continuing user research for products, and of course, members are a major target of that, and particularly membership products. So we're looking to increase the level of engagement there. Membership growth has been a little bit slow in the last few years, but we're projecting and hoping that that is continuing to recover, and we'll have a net growth of at least 530 in this year, which is a slight improvement, we hope, on 2022. We're looking at further improvements to My APNIC. One of the ongoing activities I mentioned was contact management, and also improving the functionality of the dashboard with more of those useful widgets and functions that come over from Dash that allow members who are coming in through My APNIC to see more information about not only their resources, but the relationship of those resources with their networks. And we've got a notification system in place, which is starting to allow members or subscribers, users to subscribe to notifications of events that relate to their network. Minimum My APNIC customer effort score. That's another measure of the effectiveness of that product of 80%. Improving internal authentication on APIs for the sake of internal security of those membership systems. We're automating membership closure processes. That's partly driven by the historical resource maintenance, in that there's been quite a lot of mergers that come about from historical holders who have had multiple records as multiple different organizations needing merger and closure. And we have under this pillar also the membership reporting. So continuing to cover all of our reports and to produce all of our reports in line with the KPIs. So I don't know why the screen keeps flicking off, but
do we have a problem? No slides, and the screen's also gone. Also no slides up there.
Okay, so we're moving on to the registry pillar. The point of the registry pillar, it's a little similar to membership, but we're looking to deliver world-class registry products and services required by the community. The registry pillar is definitely targeted towards all users of the registry. We don't, I think all of us understand that APNIC members publish data in the registry, but the registry is used by not only members, but the much wider community and the global community, who need to understand the usage of APNIC resources. So this is also about responsible stewardship as well as service of the number resource pools and delivery of accurate registry services. The registry pillar has registration services, registry products, and policy development. So we're completing the development this year, at least of the first iteration of the registry functions API. So for those of you who like to write code, the idea is that you're able to better integrate APNIC registry functions into your own systems. And I guess we might end up having hackathons around some of these APIs as the APIs are become published and available. That's in beta test mode alongside the NIR API at the moment. The authorization mechanisms for WHOIS need to be further updated in line with security expectations. Our registration services team is going through a more systematic way of establishing an assisted registry checklist. Credit to RIPE NCC for this process and this concept. But it's one of ensuring that according to a checklist of expectations for resource management registration, we're able to give very clear guidance and assistance to members in how they're using and managing their resources. We've got new metrics being established for increasing registry accuracy, building on the ICANN work that was done over the last few years. NIR supporting direct ASN assignments to NIR members. Something else I mentioned this morning and which is ongoing is the validation of RPKI changes against the routing table to make sure they're accurate and they don't introduce problems that are that create inconsistencies with the routing state. Creating and validating RSC objects in My APNIC. Improving ASN delegation processes across WHOIS and My APNIC. We're continuing some serious consultations on the need and the expectations, the applicability of a 5 nines goal for highly critical services. And we're aiming to meet, as we have done, 100% of the policy implementation timelines, SLAs that have been established. Under the development pillar, this pillar is about investing in the sustainable development of the regional internet community, also the industry and the infrastructure, building capacity for best practice internet operations across the entire technical community of the region. Now, I guess this might sound a bit like APNIC is trying to do all of this on its own. That's not the case. The whole point of this development program is very much partnership, cooperation, support, capacity building, and working with communities regionally and at the national and the NOG levels to achieve these aims. The development pillar has got these 6 work streams: conferences, foundation, community engagement and participation, the APNIC Academy, and supporting infrastructure. So we're looking for 1,200 attendees at conferences this year with a net promoter score of at least 50, which is we've achieved well and truly in the past. We're looking to at least 22 plus community events and 15 plus security events, and to continue supporting the new and emerging certs of the region. The IGFs, the national and regional initiatives in our region, we feel we need to go on supporting the Internet Governance Forum, particularly in understanding and having that community, very diverse community, understand better how the IP address management system works, how APNIC amongst the other RARs work, how the multi-stakeholder governance system works, and there's a continual demand for that. In fact, after the sort of down period of COVID, we find that there's a lot of education and awareness building that's needed, as many, particularly in governments, as many government officials tend to roll over and be replaced on a multi-year basis. So there's a lot of work, a lot of catch-up work to be done there, actually. So again, looking for a number of capacity building activities, trainings, and related with government agencies. We're looking to increase APNIC engagements and maintain at least 300 engagements. This is where the staff of APNIC Secretariat and the other representatives like community trainers are going out from APNIC, engaging with the community. The word we use for the opposite of more of the community coming into events and activities organised by APNIC is what we refer to as community participation. Orbit, the new mailing list platform, we're looking to bring on at least 650 new users there, and an increase in the number of posts, the amount of activity on that platform. We're looking for a fellowship program to maintain that very high net promoter score. I hope we can fix this display during the lunchtime. We're looking for increasing the net promoter score, or maintaining the net promoter score of the fellowship program, maintaining at least the same level of online academy course and lab use. We'd like to reach 30,000 registered users on the academy. We'd like to create at least or present at least 80 different instructor-led tutorials and workshops. Achieve 10 retained. These are retained community trainer positions. These are trainers who are committed and receive compensation from APNIC to be committed to be available to training and other supporting activities around the development and maintenance of APNIC Academy content. We're looking for training of at least 8 sessions in RPKI, IPv6, and at least 6 in IXP support. Looking for 90% plus ROA coverage in at least 4 additional economies in this current year. Looking to continue to support peering forums, APIX. Establish a training certification program for the academy, which will provide a more formalized and structured certification for the students of the academy. And as I mentioned, to complete the deployment of those 12 en-route Anycast instances, which are sort of waiting in the queue at the moment since last year. The information pillar is about supporting internet development with the needed network information services, the research outcomes which are of demonstrated value to the community. And under this pillar, we'd like to increase the amount of blog usage that and podcast usage that we see. We're, as I mentioned, providing alerts or a notification service that allows subscribers to receive information about events on their networks, and we're hoping to be deploying that to at least 120 additional subscribers. Adding more dash widgets to the My APNIC dashboard to integrate, continue that integration. Expanding REX, the Resource Explorer, to cover globally the delegations RPKI and DNSSEC stats. The APNIC.net website will be structured and have a content refresh during the year. We've got cooperative research projects which will continue with those three organisations as mentioned before, and hoping to maintain a high rate of publication of articles, reports, presentations and podcasts through the year. Finally, on Pillar 5, capability, this is all about the secure and stable internet infrastructure that supports both internal and public APNIC operations and services. We want to also make sure that APNIC as an organisation has got a very strong service culture driven by people who are committed to APNIC's vision and values, and to sustain a healthy, resilient organisational structure. So we are on that sort of more technical side. We're looking to, of course, maintain the 4 nines availability for critical and non-critical services, and 99.95 for the non-critical services. Maintaining our 24/7 incident response team, providing what we need to do in preparation for possible 5 nines, and it's a good initiative in any case, is to increase the current precision of our real-time availability monitoring to support 5 nines. We need to pass our first ISO 27001 audit after our initial certification this year. We're migrating all staff to a zero trust network access framework, introducing internal code vulnerability scanning as well that complements the penetration testing and so forth that's also going on. On the more financial and administrative side, we've got the regular APNIC audit that happens every year. You probably know that we undertake that full financial audit voluntarily every year in order to make sure that there's absolutely no doubt about the correct financial operations of APNIC as an organisation. That's something that is generally passed without any exceptions whatsoever, and we need to maintain that. We're maintaining business continuity and disaster recovery planning, scenario planning, passing our ISO 9001 audit. As I mentioned, the ISO 9001 was extended last year to include product development. And so the continuing maintenance of that quality system is pretty important. We've got global benchmarks for human resources in staff engagement, in diversity and culture to be maintained. We've got to maintain benchmarks for staff turnover, and working with the EC to develop the 2024 to 2027 strategic plan. And that's something that you'll certainly be hearing about through the course of this year and into the next meeting in the next conference in September. There are a number of foundation-funded activities provided here, along with so that you get a sense of the size of these activities within the staffing and budget. We've got 8 foundation-funded projects or activity areas within APNIC that add up to 16.55 of the APNIC staff funded by the foundation, and 4.4 million AUD. And that's in academy product development, in expanding training events and the community trainers network. The repetition of academy product development there, probably a typo. Curriculum for non-technical audiences, the HoneyNet, MRoot deployment, and some additional contribution to research and measurements that's funded by the foundation. And that's it for the activity plan. Now, I know that's a very, very much a sort of a whistle-stop tour of the plan. It's giving you a taste of the breadth and number of activities that are being planned. But if you would like to know more, then please, by all means, ask. But also, there's many more details available in the documentation that's posted on the website. And that's posted on the website already, I believe. Right, Tony? Tony Nobbs, yes. Okay. Thanks very much again for your attention, and I'll hand back to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. As Paul said, the activity plan and the corresponding allocation of resourcing budget is all on the website now. So encourage you to go and take a look at that so that we have a better idea of it. And I think the next speaker is me. Okay, I'll probably just present from here. So next is the APNIC EC report, which I will present as the EC chair. We ran through the introductions this morning. We have 8 EC members. 7 of us are elected. And Paul, as the DG, is the ex officio member of the board. So given that we did the introductions this morning, you can compare the photo with the faces on the stage game, but that's about it at this point. The functions of the APNIC EC are pretty well defined by our bylaws. We represent the interest of the members in the governance of APNIC. We have oversight over the APNIC activities. Apart from looking at the address policy and taking them to implementation, we also consider broader policy issues in the region or in the world for APNIC's strategic direction. We set fees for members. The EC meetings, we generally meet 4 times a year, and that's been the case for many, many years now. We had 5 meetings since the last AGM, or the APNIC 53 AGM, which was a virtual meeting. During the pandemic, we were a bit more flexible in how we met, because when we have on-site meetings, we had to meet during the meeting, or there's not a lot of choice. But during the pandemic, we've been a bit more flexible and met the week before or the week after the actual conference. The next meeting will be at the end of the day today with the newly elected EC members. And then there'll be the one after that is set for Brisbane at the APNIC offices in May. And the meeting is in the office mainly because it is also a strategic planning exercise for the next 4 years. And in that meeting, there'll be a lot of participation from the staff as well. Other meetings, we generally meet with the foundation board. We had one earlier this week. Same thing, APNOG, Apricot is a key partner for APNIC. So we meet with the APNIC board, also happened earlier this week. And then something that we started during the pandemic, or the first year of the pandemic, was we started having a meeting of all the volunteers that get elected to different roles. You know, it's not just the EC that gets elected. There are other roles like the ROEC, SIG chairs, APIX, APNOG board, and collectively we were missing the hallway conversation during pandemic. So that is a way of getting a broader set of people and talk to each other, so that we can find the pulse of what was going on in their own community. Because the EC, we only are 7 of us. The elected leaders come from all over the region. And that helped us get a broader perspective on how we continue doing events, how we continue to meet, and so on. And we also had a meeting of the elected leaders earlier this week. All of our meeting minutes record. So everything is on the link that is on the screen there, apnic.net/EC. There has been perfect attendance, no late notice or anything, tardy notes. I talked about the survey earlier this morning. We conducted the survey last year. The surveys are conducted by an independent company, and it is anonymous for those who submit the survey. The survey is not just limited to members, but to stakeholders in the region and worldwide, and it gives input from the community for APNIC's performance, priorities, and future activities. Again, thank you everyone for your participation, those who are here and those who are online and those who will watch the streams later on. We had 65% of our members respond. Survey results and the EC response to it are already published. You can go to survey.apnic.net to find a really detailed output from the survey and how we responded to it. The last year's survey was important also because it will guide the next 4 year strategic planning, which will happen in May and throughout the year. Policy-wise, we are familiar with this. The APNIC public policy, SIG or SIG policy, reached consensus on 3 different policy proposals in 2022. And we have endorsed and resolved that it goes to implementation. I won't read all of those, but thank you everyone who worked hard in the policy process. Finances, we had a big report from the treasurer earlier, so I won't go into details, but at a high level, membership growth is below budget assumptions. I guess, we had a bit of a increase during the early years of COVID, but it seems to have stabilized. But we also don't know why these things swing in different phases. So we just go by what we see. We had an operating deficit of Australian dollar 300,000. And then as the market has gone up and down, we've seen a downward trend, and our portfolio size, the investment portfolio, reduced by 4 million. We have approved the 2022 audited financial statements. And we have approved the activity planning and budget for 2023, which were already presented here. And then we have APNIC has an interesting status in Australia where we are recognized as a mutual organization, and we have to maintain that to avoid paying large sums of money as tax. And that was confirmed by the Australian Tax Office, and it will be valid. The current confirmation will be valid till June 2027. This has become more procedural in the recent times. We haven't seen any reason to, or any queries from the Australian Tax Office on this topic, unlike a couple of years ago where there was a lot of queries. But seems to have that the ATO is happy with our governance, with our reporting, with our audits. And so this is a procedural matter at this point. Fees. One of the responsibilities of the EC is to set fees for the membership and APNIC services. We announced a fee schedule change in December 2022. It was a raise in fees because of really high inflation and the cost of operations going up. We had not changed any fees since 2020. In 2020, we had made a very small change. So this time we changed the bid factor instead of changing the fee to a certain members or something, or any other decisions. Interestingly, we went from 1.3 to 1.31. And again, those of you who have been around long enough remember that we originally had 1.31. And when we had a good economic situation and the operating cost went down, we had reduced it from 1.31 to 1.30. So we went back to the 1.31 bid factor for the membership fees. This approach basically creates less burden on the smaller members rather than changing the base fees, which would be applicable across everyone. This creates a good balance. And we also thought that, changing the bid factor like we did almost 10 years ago was the right approach because the inflation pressures are very different across every country in the Asia Pacific region. So they're not uniform. We continue to monitor the economic environment. As I said, inflation numbers this last year has been really high in some countries. Other countries seems to have more stable, but the general trend still looking at high inflation, and which means the cost for everyone continues to increase. Conscious of that, we're looking at different ways to minimize the impact, like setting up, install payment by installments, and a few other options we could look for. And this is a topic of priority for us. The NRO-NC ASOAC, Number Resource Organization, Numbering Council, and Address Supporting Organization Advisory Council, they are the same thing, different names. In the RIR context, we call them NRO-NC. In the ICANN context, they are called ASOAC. The APNIC EC reappointed Nicole Chan to the Number Council for a one-year term from the beginning of this year till the end of this year. Thank you to Nicole. She's been serving, and she's been elected as the vice chair of the NRO-EC ASOAC. We have 3 representatives on the NRO-NC ASOAC. We have Dima and Gaurav Kansal, both elected by the community, and Nicole Chan, who is appointed by the EC. We thank all the current members and also thank the outgoing member, Subham Saran from India. Thank you very much for your service, all of you. And then there is INRC. This is the review committee for PTI, which manages number resources under ICANN. We appointed Divya Khatiwara to the INR review committee for a 2-year term, beginning of this year till the end of next year. We have 3 representatives: Ching Heng Ku, elected by the community; Divya Khatiwara, appointed by the EC; and Guang Liang Pan as APNIC staff. This structure is sort of agreed when we did the INA transition of many years ago. So we thank all the members who contribute to it, and you can expect to see the report from the INRC published when it is available. All the other RIRs also nominate, and I believe the report is due very soon, or the publication of the report is due very soon. APNIC conferences, obviously APNIC 55. Thank you very much, everyone who's here. The next APNIC meeting will be in Kyoto, Japan. Long ago, before the pandemic, we thought we were going to Sapporo, but when we started to resume on-site preparations, our Japanese hosts told us that the Sapporo facilities are not available anymore. So we've gone back to the Kyoto, where we had APRICOT in 2005, I believe. It's the same venue where the Kyoto Protocol was signed, if you are so inclined to know more about it. The APNIC EC has decided that September 2024, APNIC 58 will be held in New Zealand, because it's a turn for us to go to the Pacific. APNOG and APRICOT will announce the 2024 host very soon. They are still working through their preparations, and APNIC 57 venue would be known when APRICOT, APNOG makes their decision and publicizes that. Member feedback, as usual. There are multiple ways to provide feedback to the EC via APNIC, contact us form, here during the conference, and through the website as well. That was the photo taken earlier this week. And thank you very much to all the members and all the participants and all the stakeholders who are here, including board members from other RIRs and staff from internet organizations across the region and the world. Thank you very much for your support. Okay, I got some feedback here. Okay, I got the message. So we have a couple of agenda items here, but before that, we are going to have open mic questions about the activity plan or the EC report. Anyone there? I do not. Okay, if not, before I go to the request, Bertrand, to get started, to get prepared for the policy SIG report, I have just been informed that if anyone encounters any issues with accessing the voting platform, we have APNIC staff here, we can help. They can contact the help desk, which is outside on the left of this room, or email the help desk at helpdesk@apnic.net, or contact via phone on an Australian number +61 7 3858 3188. If you didn't get that number, you can come and ask me later here. But I recommend that you go outside and talk to folks on the service decks, and those who are remote should be able to get the email address, and the Zoom administrators can publish this contact information onto the Zoom chat rooms, please. And that should allow the remote participants to get the same information. And we also believe that all the issues that have been raised by members so far has been resolved at this point. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to ask Bertrand, please, somewhere, to come up to the mic and do the policy SIG report. Oh. No one.
Good morning, everyone. Bertrand Charrier from New Caledonia, doing the policy SIG report. The policy SIG charter is to develop policies which relate to the management and use of internet number resources within the Asia Pacific regions. It includes policies for resource allocation, recovery, transfer, and resource registration within WHOIS, reverse TNS, RPKI, and related services. We had 4 proposals to deal with this time. Prop 147, historical resource management. This proposal suggests that custodian can claim historical resources that have been marked as reserved within 12 months of the date they were marked as reserved. After 12 months, these resources will be placed in the free pool for redelegation. This proposal did reach consensus at the OPM, and I will now call for consensus at this member meeting.
You do it?
Okay, so the EC chair will.
Yeah, this is the role at the APM. We do it in different ways every time. We can call for consensus now or do it at the end. Let's do it right now. Yeah, we'll do it.
Now we wait for the. Yep.
No. Okay.
After each
of this, save some time. So we are ready to call for consensus on this particular policy proposal. It reached consensus in the policy SIG. So all of those who agree with this, please just raise your hands. And I think we have the online thing also available now. Looks good. And I'm going to go straight to the other extreme. Anybody very strongly opposed to it, be aware that if you are strongly opposed to it, you should come up to the mic and present your views on it. Anyone strongly opposed to this? Anyone opposed to it? Looks like we have a fairly good amount of consensus on this particular policy proposal. So I would say this has reached consensus, or, we agreed with the consensus reached in the policy SIG. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next one.
Prop 149, change of maximum delegation for less than a /21 total IPv4 holdings. These proposals suggest increasing the maximum IPv4 delegation size for new APNIC account holders from a /23 to a /22, and if requested, delegating an additional /23 for APNIC account holders with less than a total of a /21 of IPv4 resources. APNIC account holders with a total amount of IPv4 resources equal to and more than /21 are not eligible. This proposal was sent back to the mailing list. Prop 150, ROA who is object with private, reserved, and unallocated origin ASN. These proposals suggest APNIC restrict an account holder's right to create ROA with private, reserved, or unallocated ASN. These proposals also suggest APNIC notify account holders if the origin ASN in their ROA is unallocated and to not automatically renew ROA with unallocated ASNs. These proposals reached consensus at the OPM.
Thank you, Bertrand. Again, we'll go through the same routine. Anyone who is, or the folks who are in favor of this proposal, please raise your hands. Looks good. Those who are strongly opposed to this particular proposal. Anyone opposed to the proposal in any minor form or format? Okay, I think we can say that we agreed to the consensus reached in the policy SIG 2 days ago. We can go on.
Prop 151, restricting non-hierarchical assets. This proposal would restrict APNIC account holders from creating a non-hierarchical asset and notify all members who already have non-hierarchical assets. That is recommended they move to a hierarchical asset. And this proposal did reach consensus at the OPM.
Thank you. Same process. Anyone, I'll do it the other way around this time. Anyone strongly opposed to it? Anyone opposed to this? Those who are in favor of this policy going forward? Looks good to me. We can say that this we've agreed or concurred with the consensus reached in the open policy meeting. Thank you.
We had a presentation to propose change to the policy development process. It's mainly to define the deadline and remove any confusion in the PDP. This presentation received support from the SIG and very good comments. It will be a proposal for the next OPM in Kyoto. We had a panel discussion, leasing IP addresses. It was to define the will of the community about leasing of IP addresses following the opposition to the Prop 148 at APNIC 54. This discussion might lead to a new proposal as leasing is not allowed, but in use. Outcome and actions. The Prop 149 that was presented at the OPM was not the proposal published on the mailing list. So no consensus call was made and the proposal was sent back to the mailing list. And that's it for me. Any comments or questions?
Any comments or questions, quick ones? None. We still have time in the end. There's another open mic. We can bring that up then. Thank you very much for the policy SIG chairs for doing this, on all the policy authors and those who participated in the policy process. I will not let Bertrand go away from here, but he is going to present a second report, which is the joint SIG meeting.
So this joint SIG meeting report was to update the election procedures in the SIG guideline. During the community election held at APNIC 54, anomalies were observed in the conference registration list and in the pattern of online participation. The implications are significant. SIG elections normally attract 50 to 100 votes. Therefore, an organized voting block of 250 more would determine election results in the future. So we need to ensure the integrity of APNIC SIG elections. We propose that election will use the same online voting system as APNIC EC and NRONC elections. Individuals cannot hold more than one elected positions. Those who are elected to a new position must resign from any other currently held position as soon as practicable, but no later than 30 days following the election. Each APNIC member is entitled to cast one vote during the time noted in the SIG election timetable. There is no proxy voting at SIG elections. APNIC staff and other IRR staff are ineligible to vote. Online voting for APNIC members and eligible registered conference attendee will open 2 hours after the start of the APNIC conference and will close at the end of the lunch break on the last day of the APNIC conference, just before the start of the AMM. If a SIG chair or co-chair does not attend one in every 2 APNIC conferences and does not attend a SIG forum held at APNIC conference, the APNIC EC will have discretion to remove the chair or co-chair from their role. The process of electing a replacement will then begin. Pros and cons. It allows verification of conference attendees as real people who are eligible to vote. It ensures individuals cannot hold multiple committee elected positions to avoid capture of community roles, and it clarifies who is responsible for the removal of a chair or co-chair. The disadvantage is that online-only conference participants who are not members are ineligible to vote. These modifications were well received by the community and we reached a consensus. It will be published shortly after this conference. And that's it for my report.
Thank you, Bertrand, and Joy for leading this process. I know it's been a pretty intensive last couple of months and getting this to a level where all the 6 chairs have agreed and make the recommendations. And updating our SIG guidelines is a pretty ongoing process. We keep adapting. And I think before the pandemic or on the run up to the pandemic, we kind of had to adapt because obviously all of our 6 selections were show of hands. And when we had the pandemic, we couldn't really do that. And then we basically said everybody online could do it. And then we realized that, that was, we didn't think enough about it. So I guess this new set of guidelines will continue to be adapted as we experience more with our elections. So thank you very much, Joy and Bertrand. And thank you also to all the 6 chairs and other members of the community. Actually, I should mention the elected leaders community because all of them participated in this process, including those at the APIX and APNOG boards, who are not just 6 chairs. So thank you, everyone, for this. And thank you to the 2 chairs of the joint SIG meetings to have delivered this for the membership. Okay, so now I go on to the next SIG report, which is routing security SIG, and our chair Dima is going to present this.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dima, the acting chair of Routing Security Chair of APNIC, and I'm glad to be here to brief you our SIG forum during this APNIC meeting. Above all, our SIG is a place where you can find what is going on with routing security in terms of new technology, new standards, solutions, and as well as current practices. And discussions in this forum and mailing list could be then utilized to advise APNIC community in preparing technical elements of policy proposals concerning routing security. And there were 4 presentations here in this SIG forum. After from ISOC provided insights into IIR database issues and encourage network operator to use hierarchical AST. Yanbiao Li, a professor from Chinese Academy of Sciences, shared observation on the issues of operational granularity of RPK ROAs and presented a novel scheme to encode the ROAs with bitmaps for flexible and fine-grained management. Fang Guo, a lady, discussed the IP spoofing situation on the internet and corresponding technologies to prevent spoofing attacks on the network layer, including existing and emerging source address validation mechanisms. And Tom Harrison from APNIC made a brief introduction to RPK signed checklists and its use case. As far as I observe, the RPK signed checklists is really promising, but require more use case to help people to understand how they can benefit from it. And once again, I believe the academic and the research community should be strongly encouraged to come and share what they have done with their network operations. Moving on to outcomes and actions, after I made a policy proposal of restricting long hierarchical ASH as discussed in our SIG forum. So I guess that's all about my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dima. Thank you very much. Yeah, the routing security SIG has made a lot of interesting discussions, and one of the things you did not mention, but we talked about it, was there is going to be a policy proposal coming from the routing SIG in the next OPM. Thank you very much. I know we are ahead of the time, so I'm going to request our NIR SIG chair, I think I see her there, to comment just to the report. And do I see Joy Chan somewhere in the room? Okay, I don't see Joy, so let me see who is after Joy. Yeah, we can do the.
Good morning, everyone. I'm one of from the NIR sister. I would like to report about the NIR sister in this meeting. Yeah. The chapter of NIR6 is to share information related to the operations, policy, and procedure of National Internet Registry, which aim to promoting close cooperation among NIRs and also with APNIC. And there are 7 presentations at NIR6 forum. The first from Irene, we got some key points to increase the IP members in India. And also they have a nice training course and with a great number of IPv6 deployment, 75%. And also they have a great ROA RPKI for IPv4 and IPv6. And for APNIC, they also to focus a great number of RPKI, more than 70%. Yeah, IPv6 and IPv4 ready for ROA, and also they have the many technical event and supporting channel. Yeah. Also, the OPM in APNIC have the hot topic IP address list problems. And also from Taiwan, they have deployed IPv6 very well in from 2017, and up to now they have a great number, nearly 50% IPv6. And also in OPM, the key topic is IPv6 security, and also they also a great number APKI deployment in Taiwan. From APNIC, they also have great activity to get a great number of IP members. They increase 30%. Yeah. And also they have 8 course for training for APKI and IPv6 as well. And also some technical new service to their member. And ROA is also the key point from APNIC with the 75% ROA, and they look forward to have more than 90% ROA in this year. From CNIC, I think they keep support the community with the 3 training courses, and also the IPv6 in China. It have a great policy and also great activity to get a great number, especially for major website, for government and media, maybe 98% ready IPv6. And from VNIC, they also have a great activity focused on the VNIC Internet Conference, and also sharing some experience on IPv6 deployment in Vietnam. And up to now, Vietnam has more than 53% IPv6 deployment, and also a great number from mobile and fixed network. From another presentation from NAR6, we saw the function fee policy, who is APKI, IPv6 deployment, and some information relating to IPAS number among NARs. Yes, it's great that we got 7 presentations from 6 NARs and 1 from 6 years. As the main content of this forum focus on IPv6 and APKI. And main activity among NAR focus on OPM, and also training and supporting NAR's community. And also some NAR making plan for new target in this year, basically focus on APKI and IPv6. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions there? Any comments on the 2 SIG presentations? We can have any questions on the routing SIG or the NIR SIG. I see the usual suspect.
Thank you, Chair Aftab Siddiqui. I have one request to Wang. What we have seen in past so many years, that the JPNIC community, specifically, and at times the TWNIC community, they do their own policy discussion on the topic of policies, which will be discussed in the next policy meeting, and they provide really valuable feedback, because at times I do understand that there are language barriers. I'm not a native English speaker myself, so I do understand this problem. So if every NIR can do something similar, so we can bridge this gap of the language, at least with people who are having difficulties with that. I would really like to see more commitment. I know it's an extra effort, but as someone who has proposed multiple policies in the past, if I can be of any help, I'm pretty sure other authors will be able to help to make it easy for the NIRs. If something can be done, we would like to see more participation coming from the NIR side.
Okay, thank you, Aftab. And I think we look forward to many activity among NAR, and also to get involved not only NARs, but also the NAR community come to APNIC meeting, and also to make it better in each NARs. And Ayuki-san?
Thank you very much. Akinori Maimura from JPNIC. Thank you very much, Aftab, for the remarks for the Japanese community. I'd like to introduce some for the what kind of activity be done is being done in the JPNIC community. Actually, we have the JPNIC Open Policy Forum to discuss the address policy in Japan. That is not administered by the JPNIC, but it is the voluntary team whose name is the JP Open Policy Forum steering team. They are the quite a community-based activity. So in the JPNIC area, the policy discussion is left to the community fully. And then we sometimes do offer some support, but that's all. Then it's I sometimes refer to it as the extreme bottom-up process in Japan. So that's how we do the policy discussion in Japan. Then that discussion is summarized by the JPOPF steering team and then provided to the APNIC committee. So thank you very much, Aftab, for the referral, and then I'm really happy to have this kind of introduction to the APNIC community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Akinori-san and Aftab, for this interesting conversation. Something that I observed also with the JP community was even at JANOG, there is an entire session dedicated to policy. And that seems to create a lot more exciting amongst the operators and engineers. So maybe the other NOGs could take a leaf from that and see what could be done and contribute back to the community here. Okay. Thank you very much. Is there any other commentary or not? Because otherwise we will break 20 minutes early for lunch. Any comments, questions? Anything? I mean, this is open mic. There could be comments on anything. We have some time here.
Well, in that case, so Carl Koppenborg from Australia, and I've been a bit of a broken record on this subject, but we've got only minutes / maybe an hour to spare before the voting closes. And I want to make a couple of comments. First of all, a lot of people in the past have criticised APNIC on their transparency, but I wanted to just say thank you for the activity statements that happened before. They were a really thorough indication and understanding of what APNIC's 2023 plans are. But the other thing that I wanted to bring up is that, there's a lot of people in this room right now, and if we have a look around, at no point has there been a number of and I'm not going to say names again, but a number of the EC nominees have been not present in any of the special interest groups, or more importantly, this AGM. And I find it incredibly telling that people want to put themselves up onto the council, but yet have no interest whatsoever in the actual procedures. And so have a look around the room, see if you notice anyone that's missing, and have a think about that.
Thank you, Carl. Noted. Sienna, remote.
So this is a comment from Narelle Clark remotely. She says, I'd like to thank the EC and other SIG working groups for their professional and capable work.
Thank you. Any other comments there?
Jonathan Brewer, New Zealand. I appreciate all of the transparency that I've seen. I appreciate the hard work of the EC.
John, I think you'll need to pull the mic up a little bit.
I said nice things about you. I said nice things about the EC. And I think if people believe that the direction is wrong, that maybe the appointment of independent directors would be a good idea.
Thank you, John and Carl and everyone else on this topic. I think we should take note of all of this as we look at whatever improvements. It's a continuous process to improve and make ourselves accountable to the community, right? So it's an ongoing process. All noted. So before we break for lunch, I will remind everyone that is that someone going to the mic?
Rupesh from NPIX. I have a quick request. I just noticed that the annual report is published just a while ago. Would it be possible to publish annual report a day or two earlier for the previous year so that we can just have a look and then be prepared and see what kind of when the planning is presented, then we can have a better idea in terms of like what has happened and what's planned for, and make a comment based on that. And I was just going through the annual report for 2022, and it looks like 10 is missing in the total for the capability part. So probably that might need to be corrected. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupesh. We should hire you as a copy editor, I guess. But yeah, I just saw Tony nodding as to publishing the annual report in advance, and we should do that. I think it's just been a practice that the annual report traditionally published at the start of the AGM, but we don't need to hold on to that practice. We easily can publish at the beginning of the week when APNIC 55 or APNIC meeting kicks off. The February ones are tight because we don't get all the reporting and all the audits done before pretty much early February. So it becomes a scramble to put together. But yeah, I think that was noted. And typos, Tony, good luck. The good thing is we don't print them anymore, so we can update it quickly. So I need to remind everyone that APNIC election voting is still going on. It stops at what time, Sunny? 2:30. So we'll stop the voting session will close at 2:30. So you have roughly another an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. So if not local time, Manila time, yes, 2:30 Manila time. Please vote while this thing is still open. If you are having trouble, then please contact the help desk outside. And for the remote attendees, you've got the contact address, then the phone number to call if you are having trouble with the system. So still a reminder to vote. And we are going to break for lunch now and be back here at 2:30. So we'll start exactly at 2:30, and that's when the voting will also stop. Thank you very much. Off to lunch. And lunch is at the usual location down the stairs in the tent outside. Thank you.